Yeah. Well, thank you. You know, Joy's behind is on the Behind the Table podcast today in that yellow, sunshiny jacket you got on.
My big behind.
Your big behind.
Your skinny behind.
That's right, a little teeny tiny behind. It's still on the podcast. But we want you all to have a great day, everyone, and take a little time to enjoy the view. And you know what? We're in this together. We're going to get through it together. And don't sweat it. We've done this before. We'll see you tomorrow.
No visit to Down East Maine is complete unless you have your picture taken with Wilbur the Lobster. Ruth and Wimpy's restaurant in Hancock is always doing it up right for lunch and dinner with huge portions and wimpy prices. Ruth and Wimpy's restaurant, 792 U.S. Highway 1.
Webb's RV Center has a 4-acre lot with over 75 previously owned campers all on sale, plus another 4 acres of new RVs and motorhomes. Webb's RV will take anything in trade. You can buy a camper anywhere, but be sure to buy your next camper at your local neighbor. A website can't service your RV, but Webb's RV will. And they have the biggest service department in the state of Maine to help you enjoy your RV or motorhome.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
No visit to Down East Maine is complete unless you have your picture taken with Wilbur the Lobster. Ruth and Wimpy's restaurant in Hancock is always doing it up right for lunch and dinner with huge portions and wimpy prices. Ruth and Wimpy's restaurant, 792 U.S. Highway 1.
There's one number you need to know. It's called...
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
The murder trial for a man accused of killing a Bangor woman is getting underway. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. Memorial Day observances were held around this state yesterday, and the state has 9 missing children. Their families are hoping someone can help provide answers. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Tuesday afternoon. A small craft advisory remains posted until 8 p.m. this evening. We're still watching for some active surf that will remain a thing until later this evening. Here's where we currently stand. So a lot of sunshine out there. We have some activity off toward the north and west that will begin to approach later on this evening. But in the meantime, look at this. We're looking nice this afternoon. But again, this right here is what we're watching. That's going to be moving in our neck of the woods coming up soon. So futurecast, lots of sunshine, a few passing clouds, not out of the question. Here's some more clouds and some energy off toward the north and west. That'll give us a slight chance for a shower or a rumble of thunder later on this evening. But again, it will not be a big deal. Most of the storms will stay to the north. But for us, though, again, some gusty winds up to around 15 miles per hour possible this afternoon. Any more gusty winds will be along the coast or to the north. We'll have more gusty winds tonight and as we head towards your Wednesday. But in the meantime, again, look at that right there, even up to 25 miles per hour. But for today, mostly sunny, lower 80s for the high, southwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. But again, sunshine, few passing clouds, temperatures in the lower 80s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. The murder trial for a man accused of killing a Bangor woman is getting underway today. 44-year-old Richard Thorpe is accused of killing 39-year-old Virginia Cookson of Bangor. She was found inside her home at 200 Larkin Street in September 2024. According to an affidavit, 2 of Cookson's co-workers from the Quality Inn went to her residence after she didn't show up for work. The document says they found her in a downstairs bedroom covered with a blanket. According to the affidavit, one of the co-workers touched her exposed foot and it felt cold. The document says when authorities arrived, they found a cord wrapped around Cookson's neck. The affidavit cites sources close to Cookson who told police Thorpe was her ex-boyfriend and Thorpe had allegedly been abusive in the past. Despite many Memorial Day parades being canceled due to weather yesterday, Mid-Coast Maine communities did not let the rain stand in their way of honoring those who lost their lives serving our country. Residents from across Waldo County also gathered in Searsmont to show their appreciation to the first responders who answered the call during the Robbins lumber incident. As our Alex Schley reports, community leaders say they are coming together in the aftermath of the tragedy was important.
Thank you for your service. Hundreds lined the streets of Searsmont Monday, waving flags, applauding first responders, and showing their support for the men and women who responded to the deadly Robbins Mill fire.
Our town has been through so much lately, and we just wanted to show our appreciation for everybody and what everybody's going through.
Alongside Searsmont officials, first responders from several fire departments across the region, many of which responded to the silo explosion earlier this month, took part in this year's parade.
But we thought it'd be a little different this year because of the Robbins Mill fire, and we just thought we'd honor them.
Before the parade began, the community also took time to honor those who died serving their country and others who could not be there, including firefighter Andrew Cross, who lost his life in the explosion, and the dozens of others who were injured.
I'm pretty emotional, actually, and thankful for everybody.
We're a tight-knit community. Everybody came together, and it's a shame that a firefighter had to lose his life, but I think going forward, things will probably change in this community. They have changed.
Town leaders say the turnout was a powerful reminder of Searsmont's strength and resilience even in the wake of tragedy.
It's overwhelming, humbling, brings joy to my heart, honestly.
In Searsmont, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Senator Susan Collins also made a stop in Searsmont yesterday. In addition to honoring the men and women who gave their lives serving our country, she also shared her appreciation to the first responders who answered the call for the Robbins lumber incident, including moral volunteer firefighter Andrew Cross, who died at the scene. In a Facebook post, she added, "It was incredible how many local families and first responders turned out in the pouring rain. In the face of tragedy, Searsmont has been a reminder of the resilience of our Maine communities and the kindness of our neighbors. As they continue to recover from the Robbins lumber explosion, we stand with them and keep those affected, especially the family of fallen volunteer firefighter Andrew Cross, close to our hearts." Senator Angus King released his statement in remembrance of fallen service members. King is a senior member of the Senate Armed Services and Veterans Affairs Committees. In the statement, he said, quote, "One of our most solemn and important holidays in this country is Memorial Day. Sometimes we think of it as an opportunity to have a barbecue with our friends at the beginning of the summer, but really it's a time to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice on behalf of our country. Dating back to the Civil War, Memorial Day has become such an important and emotional time for so many people across our country." Governor Janet Mills was in Prospect Harbor Monday morning to speak at the town's annual Memorial Day ceremony. The ceremony was held at the Prospect Harbor Women's Club, where locals gathered to honor the legacy of those who sacrificed their lives in the line of duty. Mills says commemorating the fallen is a reminder to never forget the values that they fought for.
We remember the cost of a free republic, a democracy undivided though diverse. We recommit to keeping that republic, to defending the Constitution and our freedoms as long as the light and the warmth of life remains in us.
The ceremony also featured comments from town officials, including Selectman Bob Harmon.
Remember that freedom is never free. We're here today, we raise our flags and salute our flag of the United States to honor these people and to continue to remember.
The ceremony closed with a moment of silence and playing of the taps. At the Coal Land Transportation Museum in Bangor, 3,168 flags were placed on the grounds, each one representing a Maine hero who gave their life during World War II, Korea, or Vietnam. It's just one aspect of the Memorial Day service held annually at the museum. Our Grace Blanchard has the story.
At the Galen Cole Family Land Transportation Museum, a key part of their mission is supporting area veterans.
We've been hosting it for decades now, and it's just a really special time for us to take a moment to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Forward march! A dedication demonstrated annually through their Memorial Day service.
So one of the 4 pillars of our foundation is veterans and promoting patriotism in our communities, and this is just one special way that we can do that each year without fail.
The people of Bangor are always so supportive of the military and everything we do in the Air National Guard and the Maine National Guard in general, so it's just very heartwarming.
Keynote speaker Colonel Byron Newell, commander of the 101st Air Refueling Wing in Bangor, addressed the recent military operation Epic Fury, reflecting on the 13 soldiers and airmen we lost and the 180 maniacs still deployed.
Some of them left in October. They keep getting their orders extended. Some of them left in January. Their orders are extended. We've gotten some of them home, but they're still out there. And the uncertainty weighs on all of us.
The rain let up just as it was time for veterans to place a wreath at the various memorials on the grounds, a moment that signifies the true meaning of the holiday.
I hope that everyone remembers the same thing, that this is a day of remembrance, that we remember those that did make the ultimate sacrifice.
In Bangor, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, the World Health Organization says there are now more than 900 suspected cases of Ebola. We'll be right back.
I got hurt by a big truck. Why did I call the twos? Because life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money, and I'll fight to get it for you. We got a client who broke multiple bones in a commercial vehicle accident, $700,000. Another client had a brain injury, and we got them $1.15 million. If you get hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
I'm Jordan Wood. Everywhere I go, Mainers tell me they've had enough. Tired of higher costs, exhausted by endless wars, and worn out by corporate greed. Washington is failing us. It's time for a new generation to fight Trump and the billionaires. I've already taken on election deniers and won. I'll never take a dime from corporate PACs or lobbyists. I'm Jordan Wood, and I approve this message because I'll fight corruption, defend our democracy, and finally pass Medicare for all.
This spring, invest in your nest with the County Federal Credit Union. Your home has grown in value season after season. With the county's 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, you can borrow up to your credit limit over 10 years with interest-only payments over those 10 years, 10-10. And then you can stop and smell the roses, soak up the sun, and invest in your nest. The 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, the County Federal Credit Union, countyfcu.org.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX Series with 0% financing available or save up to $7,000.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
On the Road, broadcasting the news at 6, live from Searsport, is brought to you by the town of Searsport. Come explore the Maine coast. Find treasures on our beaches, local shops, art galleries, and the Penobscot Marine Museum. Pumpkin Patch Antiques, celebrating 51 years, selling 18th century and 19th century furniture, art, nautical pieces, and goodwill. Coastal Auto Parts, your local Napa Auto Parts dealer with 30 locations. Owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
President Trump today with his fourth medical and third dental appointment of his second term. The White House says the president's appointments at Walter Reed Medical Center in Maryland are part of his preventive care. They come as a recent poll shows more than half of Americans do not think Trump's health is good enough physically for him to carry out the job of president. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the details.
With less than 3 weeks before his 80th birthday, today President Trump visiting Walter Reed Medical Center for what the White House calls part of his regular preventative health care. This is the president's fourth disclosed medical appointment since his return to office. He was the oldest president elected and says he's in good health.
I'm one of the young ones, you know. I'm a similar age to all of you. Very similar. I feel the same as them. I actually feel, for sure. You know, I don't know what this is. I feel the same as I did 50 years ago. Yeah. It's crazy.
While the White House is calling today routine annual dental and medical assessments, this is the president's third dentist appointment in 5 months. ABC News has asked for additional information, but the White House has not commented. Trump often touts the cognitive tests he's taken while in office, saying he's aced each of them and steering focus to President Biden, who inevitably dropped out of the 2024 presidential race amid criticism of his mental acuity. A Washington Post ABC News Ipsos poll from last month found less than half of American adults think the president has the physical health or mental sharpness to serve as president. He has been seen with bruising on his hand, which the White House says is because of frequent handshaking while taking aspirin. Trump has also appeared to fall asleep during meetings, which the White House denies. And in July, the administration released a letter from the president's physician saying he had chronic venous insufficiency, a common condition in adults over 70 that can lead to swelling in the legs.
Essentially, this is a problem with the blood vessels, more specifically a problem with the veins that are in charge of returning blood back to the heart.
Presidents aren't required to make their health records public, and they ultimately get to decide what they share or don't. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Tuesday is the fourth full day of screening for travelers for Ebola symptoms at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. So far, no one has been flagged with symptoms here in the U.S. The World Health Organization says there are now more than 900 suspected cases and more than 220 suspected deaths in Africa. Correspondent Steve Harrigan has more.
As the Ebola outbreak grows in Africa, here at home, officials are stepping up screening for travelers entering the U.S. Customs and Border Protection is now routing travelers who recently visited the affected region to 3 major airports: Washington Dulles, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson, and Houston's George Bush.
They're being met by CDC personnel. They're being screened for symptoms. If they've got symptoms, they're getting tested and linked to care. This isn't likely to find any kind of hospitable ability to spread in the United States.
Here in Atlanta, one traveler from Scotland describes what he saw leaving the airport.
We saw was just a sign that said if you've been in certain countries, be aware of symptoms.
The tightened screening comes as the death toll continues to climb in Africa.
That's the best way to keep Americans safe, is to extinguish this outbreak in the DRC.
But aid workers are facing several hurdles. Groups on the ground say they do not have enough face shields, testing kits, and body bags. Years of conflict in the Congo have also fueled mistrust of humanitarian organizations.
We fear that because the resistance is strong, people will continue to die.
We go to the doctors and the hospitals, but they are dying too. That's what worries us. We don't know what to do.
The new screening measures come as the U.S. prepares to welcome thousands of international travelers for the World Cup. In Atlanta, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
As we know, yesterday was Memorial Day, but families across the country are also observing National Missing Children's Day. Here in Maine, there are 9 children who are missing, some for as long as 50 years. Some were toddlers when they disappeared, others were teenagers, but all of their families are still waiting for answers. After the break, nurses in Holton are striking. We'll have details when we return.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stairlifts has the solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stairlift, the world's leader in stairlifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stairlifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Why risk falling when you can safely ride?
Our Acorn Stairlift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stairlift has a padded seat and backrest. Safety sensors stop the chair if there are obstacles. The seat swivels and locks so you don't twist your body. And the Acorn Stairlift folds away. It even runs during power outages.
I was really surprised at how little it cost.
Call 1-800-732-2971 right now for your free information kit or visit our website today. That's 1-800-732-2971.
Do you take propane tank?
Anything goes.
How about cardboard?
Anything goes.
How about old rug?
Yeah, anything goes.
So this too?
Furniture removal, basements, garages, attics, hoarder houses. It doesn't matter here at Anything Goes Junk Removal. Anything goes. Well, almost anything.
Whether you're thinking of getting your first tattoo or building onto your collection of skin art,
Disconnected Tattoo and Art Company in Ellsworth provides the safest and most comfortable tattoo and piercing experience.
at Disconnected Tattoo, we'll combine your vision with our art to create something special that will last the test of time.
Don't trust your personal body art to anyone else.
Call Disconnected Tattoo today to schedule your consultation.
Or check out our Facebook page.
Disconnected Tattoo and Art Company in Ellsworth.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
And switching between GLP-1 weight loss drugs is common. It may be hindering long-term weight loss and the full health benefits these medications are designed to deliver. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has more.
New research shows many people aren't staying on weight loss drugs long. A study published in JAMA Network Open found about 3 in 4 adults who started a GLP-1 drug for weight loss are no longer taking it within a year. But switching medications was also common. About 1 in 5 people changed to a different GLP-1 during that first year, and those who switched were more likely to stick with treatment. Wegovy and Ozempic were the most common drugs people started on, and the most common ones people switched to. The study authors say switching may reflect doctors adjusting treatment as newer weight loss drugs become available. Additional studies found that stopping GLP-1 medications does result in weight gain and backsliding of healthy heart goals, including blood pressure, blood sugar, and other health measures. People may stop these medications for several reasons, including side effects, cost, or changing insurance coverage. You can up your chances of staying on a GLP-1 by starting with a lower dose and increasing it slowly. They can help the body adjust. With this Medical Minute, I'm Jacqueline Lee.
Registered nurses at Holton Regional Hospital began a 4-day strike today. They are protesting what they say is management's refusal to address their concerns about emergency department staffing and its impact on patient care. A statement says after the closure of the labor and delivery services in May 2025, nurses had reached an agreement with the hospital to increase RN staffing to 3 nurses at all times in the emergency department in anticipation of pregnant patients showing up with urgent cases there. However, they say new management took over at the end of May of 2025, and it is not honoring that agreement. Holton Regional Hospital nurses say they have been negotiating for over a year and a half for a new contract. The last one expired in November 2024. We reached out to the hospital, but they were unable to comment. Island Connections is celebrating independence on Mount Desert Island with its annual Match Challenge fundraiser. From Memorial Day through July 4th, all donations to Island Connections will be matched dollar for dollar up to $15,000. The campaign ends on July 4th. It aims to highlight Island Connections' mission to enhance independence and quality of life for seniors and people with disabilities on Mount Desert Island. Organizers say the money raised will help provide free rides for medical appointments, food shopping and food delivery, prescription pickups, and more. To donate to the Match Challenge, visit islconnections.org and click Donate. When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Webb's RV Center has a 4-acre lot with over 75 previously owned campers all on sale, plus another 4 acres of new RVs and motorhomes. Webb's RV will take anything in trade. You can buy a camper anywhere, but be sure to buy your next camper at your local neighbor. A website can't service your RV, but Webb's RV will, and they have the biggest service department in the state of Maine to help you enjoy your RV or motorhome.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
Car accidents can be scary. It can feel like the whole world is crashing down around you. Hurt in a car accident, I'm on top of it. I'm your go-to guy.
Call 222-2222. Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
The fun never stops at Wheel.
You got it! It's a car! You're a millionaire!
Weekdays at 7 on ABC 7.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
The weather is much better today. Let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, Susan, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Small craft advisory will expire at 8 p.m. this evening as the wave heights will start to decrease by that point. And wave heights right now at around 4 feet, but notice further off towards the north and east, we're starting to see a decrease according to the contour. Wave heights farther out towards sea at around 5 to 10 feet. A wide range right now according to the buoy. So a little bit active there, but on land we're looking great under a mostly sunny sky. We're seeing some passing clouds, but our next wave of energy is actually farther off towards the north and west over in parts of Canada that is tracking off towards the south and east. It will bring some activity to the northern parts of the state, and we are going to see a slight chance for maybe a shower or storm coming up later on tonight. So here's what we're looking at. So again, some clouds this afternoon, but otherwise mostly sunny. Look at that right there. Some showers and storms in the northern parts of the state later on this evening. It fizzles as it moves in our direction. I can't totally rule out a slight chance for a shower or storm later on tonight. As we head towards your Wednesday, you may see some development to the north. That will not be a problem for us. We'll just have some clouds, and that's all we're really going to see. Any precipitation for us will hold off until Thursday. Your UV index forecast for today, here we go. It'll be at a 7. That's high. Burn time of 30 minutes. So hats, sunglasses, sunscreen, and shade will be your friend to avoid a bad sunburn, as today will be a nice day to get outside. Some gusty winds up to 15 miles per hour today. Some more wind along the coast. We'll have a little more wind tonight, up to around 20 miles per hour. A little reprieve as we start things off Wednesday. today with some more gusty winds as we head towards the afternoon at around 25 miles per hour. Mostly sunny today, lower 80s for the high, southwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour or so. By tonight, upper 50s, partly cloudy, slight chance for a shower or storm, south wind at around 20 miles per hour. And for tomorrow, lower 80s, partly cloudy and breezy, west wind at about 25 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast. Thursday, a chance for rain showers, highs cooling into the lower 60s with mid 60s for your Friday and a chance for rain showers. And then Saturday, the rain showers continue, highs in the low 60s.
Thank you, Devin. Cambodia conservationists released critically endangered crocodiles into a river on Friday. Organizers by WWF Cambodia and Cambodia's Ministry of Environment, 10 endangered Siamese crocodiles were released into the Srei Pak River. The river is part of Cambodia's Srei Pak Wildlife Sanctuary. The goal is to strengthen the isolated Siamese crocodile population, which is around 1,000 globally. Before the release, the crocodiles were tagged in order to monitor their survival and adaptability. And the competition is fierce in Hong Kong as competitors climb up a tower made of 9,000 buns. That's right, a 46-foot bun tower. The buns were actually made of plastic, while edible buns were sold nearby. The competition is part of the celebration of the Bun Festival, one of Hong Kong's oldest and most colorful events. The object was to grab the most buns with the greatest value, and the most valuable ones were, of course, positioned at the top. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.
I said, what did you say to my African queen, sir?
Defending his girlfriend's honor.
We tussling around, just like the snake he is. He bit my finger. So I'm beating him upside his head so he can let go of my finger.
And the ladies were ready to rumble.
When she went like this, I'm thinking she ready to fight. Angela jumps up, comes over, smacks me, knocks my glasses off my face, chips my tooth. I should have walked away, but absolutely right.
Next Judge Judy.
Tuesday at 5 on ABC 7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.